Hello, and welcome to Expertise is Overrated. I am Sean, and today, as you can see from the screen, we are going to be checking out the absolutely fantastic Realms in Exile Lord of the Rings Overhaul mod for Crusader Kings 3. Now, you should be able to hear music right now, but you can't, and the reason that you can't is that it is currently playing to me the genuinely unimpeachable theme from the Lord of the Rings films, which is no good because that means that this video will get taken down and it'll be very sad. So what we're going to do is we are going to dive into a new game. We are going to be playing in the later of the two starts that is available to us. We will be playing in the Third Age, the War of the Ring start. The Long Winter is interesting. It lets you play as Thror or Azog or Aragorn's great something grandfather, or you can play as Helm Hammerhand. We're not going to be doing that. We are going to be playing in the start that will be more familiar to most people, and we will be playing as Maglor. Before we do that, we're going to do a couple of things. Firstly, I want to change some of the rules. I already have a start, and I will get on to why I already have a rule set saved. We're just going to skim through and I'll show you what we have. So we've kept the lore rules to lore friendly. We have bumped up Sauron's strength by 1. We have kept the Free People's strength on default. This is because I want Sauron to win, apart from my actions. I want lore-friendly colonisation. I don't want too much colonisation going on. I want to be doing a little bit, but not too much. And I certainly don't want dwarves or orcs colonising Eregion. That would just be weird. What have we done? What else have we done? Sauron is in his armoured guise. We've had a play around with Gil-galad's parentage. We decided that didn't really matter, so we didn't do anything with it. We picked random intervention instead of a specific one to give us a bit of fun. We didn't change much else. We didn't make any new administrative governments. And then what we'll do is just do a quick look. We've given a small chance for Scourge of the Valar, which would be interesting. Plagues and diseases didn't bother me. We didn't change any of these things, I don't think. We didn't put any restrictions on divergent cultures. We didn't change anything else. What I do want to do, though, before we dive into our start, is I wanted to show everyone just how big this mod is, because this mod is enormous, and you deserve to see how enormous it is. It takes a long time to load. The reason it takes a long time to load is because of how enormous it is. You can, in fact, if you wish to, turn off bits of the mod. I don't intend to do that because I am playing this through GeForce Now, and I have the utmost faith in GeForce Now's ability to render this. This is ridiculous. This map is too big as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, all the way up here we have the bits of the map that people will be familiar with. There's Elrond, Galadriel, Thranduil's up there, Bane and Dane is in here, Sauron, Denethor, Theoden, Círdan, etc. And we come down to Umbar and Be'lakor, and it just gets a bit silly. And all the way down here, you have Mumakan. These are, at best, massive extrapolations from the understandings and the writings that we have from Tolkien. But I don't begrudge the mod at all, because it makes for some fantastic play experiences. All that said, we are all the way up here. This is Maglor. Now, as you may have seen from the stream title, or the video title, if I remembered to do it properly, which I almost certainly didn't, is that we are calling this the last Feanorian. Why are we calling this the last Feanorian? Because that is exactly what Maglor is. Maglor is the last living son of Feanor, who's the eldest son of Finwë, who's the original High King. We can't actually see it, but all the way over here we have, they're not playable, this is Valinor over here, and that is where, here it is, sorry, that's a lie, here it is, Tyrion. That's Feanor in Tyrion, Ingwe. We're not playing as these people. Awesome though it would be to do. We may come over here and do something with them later. We're going to play as, did I see an island? Ooh, fun. We are going to play, as I said, as Maglor. Maglor has a lot of custom content in this mod, and what we're going to do basically is follow that custom content through. So let's get started. So this starts to talk about how the elves work. I'll leave the wording up on screen. We will get into elf mechanics either potentially later this episode or more likely during the course of the next episode, because there's some scripted content through which we need to work, and honestly until we've worked through that scripted content there's not much point engaging with it. All this tells us is that Lindon is waning. None of this is relevant for us. If we were intending to stay here and just play as a ruler in Lindon, it would matter, but we don't, bluntly. Now, before I do anything else, I need to open up the music player, and I need to turn off all the copyright music. Now, I don't know if all of this is fair game. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to turn off these three. I'm going to turn off Bear McCreary's work for Rings of Power. I'm going to leave these on. I'm also just going to turn on all the other music. So we hear plenty. As you may have seen from the game start screen, I'm playing with all the DLCs. I don't think that should matter, really. I'm not going to turn on Kingdom Come. This means, therefore, that I can turn on the music for you. And now you can hear the game and not just my voice. Which, let's be honest, is good for everyone. Right. Let's get on. As I say, we are waning. This limits what we can do. We can't colonise. Our counties will frequently lose development, etc. But we don't care. Because the moment I unpause, our scripted content will happen. Before I unpause, Crusader Kings 3, we should always deal with our buttons at the top. Council. This doesn't really matter, because all of these people will be changing. We don't have an heir, which is a problem. It's a massive problem in CK3 because if you die without an heir, the game is over. For us, it's particularly problematic for this reason. Our spouse has died as an elf. You can kind of only ever have one spouse. If your spouse dies, you're kind of out of luck, which is very romantic. But because we have no heir, and because we can't marry, and because you can't have a child as an elf without marrying, what does that mean? That means if we die, it's game over. This becomes very important in about 10-15 minutes time, as you may or may not find out. This isn't the only reason. The music isn't the only reason that I'm recording this episode for the second time. Let's put it that way. We are going to pick diplomacy, focus. There's no point picking fertility because we can't be more fertile. And our diplomacy is already 35, so it doesn't really matter. Getting the extra 2 pips in diplomacy, an extra 1 prestige a month, is going to be pretty good for us because we are going to be burning through some prestige later. Now, without further ado, let's unpause. This is what I was talking about. This event, The Last Son of Feanor, tells us a little bit about Maglor. Once there were 7, now I, Maglor, am the last. In folly of youth, despair, love and rage was an oath sworn, which drove us to our ruin. To ill end indeed did come all we began well. I will not say no good was done, for good was done. Yet good does not erase evil, even if good comes of it. For thousands of years I wandered the seashore, lamenting. I can scarcely remember those days. The black pit of despair, maw which consumed everything I did. No, which consumed everything. I did not know of the death of my nephew, not until it was far too late. Yet my deeds and my oath set me still apart from my people, and so I came here, to Himring. Here I have dwelt since, despite my best efforts. News of my presence became known, and some of my most foolishly loyal followers came and joined me. We have built a life, after a fashion, humble yet peaceful. Yet even we hear the words, carried on the wind and in the seas. The darkness rises anew, and the strength of the free peoples is not what it once was. Dare I act? This is the start of Maglor's content. Now, what we could do, because we're playing as a first age elf, and that's a pretty powerful thing to be playing as, is decide we don't want to engage with Maglor's content. Maglor, we can just play the game however we would normally want to. We could choose to ill end shall all things turn, I shall remain here. But I feel like the question one would have to ask oneself at that point is, why on earth would you pick Maglor if you weren't going to follow his content? So as you can see at the moment, we are a protectorate of Círdan the Shipwright, but with the click of a button we go independent. Now, this event tells us about how elves work. We don't go bald, we don't suffer illness. Having a child's a conscious decision, and we can only raise one at a time. It takes until 50 for them to be considered fully an adult. And hope is a central theme for our people, and we strive to uphold it even as the darkness grows in this world. Again, we'll talk about hope later. But we've kicked off our content. So now we just wait. We gather up money. We're going to need all of the money. I feel like my number of troops just dropped massively. Probably doesn't matter. Probably isn't important. Am I going to get my other event? There it is. All you had to do was increase the speed. Again, we're faced with a choice. At this point, we have two choices. We could try to rally what elves I can and take the fight to Sauron directly. Or, this would be probably, one would argue, slightly more Feanorian. We can assert my claim, though questionable, to the position of High King, before leveraging that power to defeat Sauron. Given that Maglor is the most senior male descendant of Finwë left in Middle-earth, we could just say that makes us the High King, which would be strictly speaking true. As an interesting side note to that is that Elrond of Rivendell, absent Maglor, is probably the person best able to make that claim, but he never does. But again, this would opt us out of future narrative content, and it would probably lead to a war with Lindon. Nah. we're not going to do that, because we'd lose. So instead we will choose to rally the army of the righteous. And that's going to kind of be our theme for this series. We're looking to redeem Maglor. So we'll take this decision. We can either head for Ostinetta or for Ethelond. Now, for those of you who don't know, can I get this right first time again? No. Okay, now I'm really covering myself in no glory at all. Where is Ethelond? This is not good. I did this first time last time. It's around here somewhere. That's definitely not right. That's that one. Whoa, I was miles away. So the idea behind Ethelond would be intending to strike against Sauron as quickly as possible. But again, if we have a quick look, we're not remotely there. So what we're going to do instead is we are going to march for Ost-in-Edhill, which is the old capital of Eregion, which was the kingdom of Celebrimbor during the time of the Last Alliance. It's down here somewhere. So we set off. We should get some troops. We've got an army of 40 men. 40 songsmiths. Said 40. Oh well. Going out quietly into the night, we set out, leaving behind Himring and Lindon, marching forth for the last war of the High Elves. We should get more. We get more. We've got some Noldor veterans who are mental. We've got 120 Noldor cavalry. My goodness. 200 March Wardens. Lomaquendi heavy cavalry. Some more Rangers. And some Calaquendi archers. What we didn't get was any Noldor warriors. We got 10 Noldor veterans. We're travelling. There are too many travelling events in CK3, but there's a 25% chance to lose Melancholic, which would be very good. That never happens. Never happens. I've had that event every single practice run that I have done, and I have literally never managed to lose Melancholic, which is pretty bad trait. Health we don't really care about, but diplomacy, martial stewardship and intrigue is bad, and also we can't patrol the borders, which is a really good way to gain hope. We get south of Feanor though, so if we just vote to give up, end the game, we'll end the game by sailing west. I'm going to take all of the events that give us a delay in exchange for a bonus, because, hey, we're elves. We can be slow. It'd be good if I had something to spend strength on. Yeah. This is why I quite like playing as Maglor. Because we have too much prowess. We have a sword that gives us 17 extra prowess, which means that there's no risk to pushing this button. Also, we're robust, so we can just farm prestige by lifting cards out of ruts. The Maglor start is a bit daft. Let's investigate the cave. Let's bring you with us. Who are you? Oh, I have a friend. Lucky me. Let's find that person. Because this is the only way that you can get... Ooh, a bossy skin changer. This is sort of the only way that you can get a... get an heir. That's Maglor. Apparently, eventually, if you have a skin changer in your court, you can adopt them, which would be pretty good. I'd be keen to do that. Just so that dying... I mean, we'd only spend 50 gold though. Money's too valuable. I'm not going to read every big event. I'm not even really going to pause with every event. Scripted content, big decisions, that I will do. I don't want a coronation. I don't want to enter the royal court. I don't think I even can be crowned. I don't really need legitimacy or vassal opinion. I'll get crowned when it matters. And I don't like holding court because it's just annoying. I'll do it when I can think of it. That's what we want. I can hang up my banner on the wall, go away. Right. Now, how are we doing? We don't have 750 troops, which is really, really problematic. But we'll come on to that in a minute. Do I have enough money for a man-at-arms regiment? No, because my men-at-arms are stupidly expensive. When I do have 660 gold though, we will be getting Noldor cavalry, and they will carry us the whole way through the game. I don't want to hold a coronation, I don't need to inspire a person, I need my money. Right, anyway, so we have settled in Eregion as the Feanorian host, a titular title that does not give us any land, any claims, but what we do have also is the refuge of Eregion, of which there are 4 counties, of which we hold 3. We need to colonise Nin in Elif, but we have Arabrand, Ostinet Hill and Cyranon, and Ostinet Hill has this building, which is giving us loads of cash, which is great. But we're not done. The Gates of Khazad-dum. With the rebuilding of Ostinet Hill underway, the time has come to begin probing the depth of Khazad-dum. I have heard tales on our journey of its great wealth, craftsmen, and ancient friendship with my people. I am joined on the way by a small company of warriors, many of them survivors of Eregion, who remembered the heady days of its height. The western gate we seek is known as the Doors of Durin, as a result of collaboration between elf and dwarf. I am told it will appear when the moon's light shines on it, the result of Ithildin. It is guarded by a riddle, which is supposedly a small joke between my nephew, Celebrimbor, and King Durin II. When night falls, the door reveals itself, shining in the pale moonlight between two ancient holly trees. My gaze wanders upon it, recognizing the work of Celebrimbor. With a soft exhale, I utter a single word: melon. The door's open. With the west gate of Moria open, we slowly map out the ancient halls of Dwaradelf. No tales do its immensity justice, for every hall and path leads to new ones, heading down into the deeps of the earth. Where's Balin gone? Balin? Damn it, I was hoping to save Balin. But that's not looking possible. Sorry. Yet these halls are not empty. In their depths scrabble goblins bent and crooked, but they are no match for elven steel and arrow, and soon the halls fall silent once more. Yet after one group we find a small bunch of dwarves, harrowed and worn, huddling for warmth in a small hole. Their axes are worn and their armour dulled, and a pall of despair lies on them. Who knows how long they've been trapped here in the deep darkness, bereft of their king and assailed by the foul goblins. Seeing the light of our lamps, hope returns to their faces, rising with creaking of metal and bone. Ooh, we've got some more troops, that's good. 750 is a very important number, and I will explain why later. But the fact that we're sitting over 750 is very good. I would quite like this one, because building construction time and holding taxes is going to be better than 80 dwarves or a knight. We got 80 solid dwarves. What kind of dwarves did we get? We got Longbeard Axeman. Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. I'm going to put them there for now. Songs sing of Durin's bane, a walking calamity, a beast that destroyed the greatest kingdom of the dwarves. None could say what it was in truth, but in my heart I suspected. Had I not beheld them many times before? They ambushed Maedros and slew Fingon during the Nernaith Aroniad. No, I have no doubt. A Valaralkar dwells in these depths, and it now knows I am here too. I command my soldiers to begin leaving the depths. I'm sorry, I can't talk at the moment. And in the distance I see it, a titan of shadow and flame, sword in hand, hate and wrath emanating from it. We retreat in good order, and it does not follow. It must be slain. And this is where Maglor really comes into his own. Because now that Maglor knows there's a Balrog there, he just decides to deal with it. So we march to Ladris. Why am I in Ladris? Well, because two people live in Ladris. Firstly, Elrond, who's pretty punchy. But you know who we really want? We want Glorfindel. Oh boy, do we want Glorfindel. I think I'm going to try and befriend Aragorn. Just get that going. You'll have seen while all the events were going on, I was clicking around. What I was doing was a few things. Firstly, I was looking for Balin, who doesn't appear to be around. I suspect that means he's dead, but we'll have a quick look. Nope, Balin looks dead. That's upsetting. We can confirm that by coming to here. Where's Dwalin? Glorin, Dane, Dwalin, Balin. Balin died before we got there. That's pretty bad. That's very bad for Balin. But yeah, we are going to be going to war with these goblins, and they have a garrison of about 750. If we don't have 750 troops, we can't beat them. No, 1-to-1 we can take them in a fight, not a problem. I don't care how many troops they've got. These guys have 2,000 troops, it's fine. We'll walk over them like cake. That's not how that phrase works. That's not remotely what that phrase is. But if we can't besiege their territory, we can't besiege their territory. So I'm looking around for allies. The ally I want is Galadriel. Just that's fantastic. Galathrim archers and Galathrim warriors. That's going to be unbelievably valuable. If I can't have Galadriel, I probably want Elrond. There's an argument for Aragorn. The problem is I really don't. His Dunedain wardens are really very strong. But I don't want to be drawn into what's going to happen to Aragorn. Because if you remember, what's going to happen to Aragorn, because we picked this, is he's going to get his ass kicked by Sauron. Now everyone, hope alongside me that this event is not bugged anymore. So we make our plea to Imladris. Elrond's brow furrows deep in thought. We hold our breath. And Elrond and Glorfindel are coming with us. That's the best possible roll. 25% chance of becoming Gardener. Gardener's very good. Don't think I became a Gardener. I wasn't paying enough attention. Let me check. Did I become a Gardener? It doesn't look like it. It's quite a bad roll. Cool. Nice. No, 20 natural dread. Compassionate's offsetting quite a lot of my natural dread. No, it's just a watch and wait. Really. We are going to This is what you do if you're a first stage elf. You see a Balrog, so you go and pick up a couple of your mates. Elrond, half-elven, who is 6,500 years old and the rightful heir to the High Kingdom of the Noldor. And Glorfindel, who is sent back from the west by the Valar to be a stalwart leader and shining light in the darkness. And you go, chaps, let's go kill a Balrog. I'll remind you what happens to Gandalf. I definitely don't want to become reclusive. I have questions. Blade and Song. Revealed in the fullness of their glory, mighty lords of elder days, it takes not long for the Balrog to find them. Glorfindel takes the charge, the light of the Valar, burning through the Balrog's shadows. Flanking him are Elrond, Peredhil, and Maglor, their voices raised in song. Maglor's voice blazes with fire and starlight, and Elrond's with all the strength of the line of Luthien. Yet even then it is close. The Balrog's song is one of ruin, of brutal flame and toppled kings. Yet after much long battle, a single chance appears. A new song is taken up, ringing from the depths of the mountains, the roots of the earth. Celebdil raises its ancient voice in vengeance for its fallen beloved sons, and with the very earth roaring as a choir, the Balrog stumbles, if but for a moment. This is a coin flip, right? Well, it's not. It's a 90-10 chance. If we roll the 10%, we have to start again. We don't have an heir. We die. But we don't die this time. To the shock and amazement of all, Durin's Bane, the Balrog, has fallen at the hands of Maglor. Long had the Balrog cast its shadow over the ancient dwarf realm of Moria, and few dared to brave its depths, allowing goblins and orcs to infest it. It was derided by many as foolhardy to try to reclaim the realm, deeming only a greater power than mere mortals able to accomplish the tool. The task, yet Maglor has proven such as. Well, Maglor's not mortal, so, in a brazen display of elven might, Maglor led a host into the depths of Khazad-dum, seeking to reclaim it for the dwarves. Upon confronting the Balrog, a great battle of arms and song erupted, until at last the elves claimed victory over the Valar Aukar. With its fall, many of the goblins that inhabit the depths fled to the distant corners of the mountains, fleeing the radiant armies of the elves. The ones that remain now face the might of the elves, who are set to the grim task of cleansing every depth and crevice. With this unexpected turn, the north is set to change forever, once again. Glory to the sons of Aule. We did it, guys! We killed a Balrog. In the first half hour of the game, no less. We gained a level of fame. We're apparently distinguished. Oh, we got some elven soldiers from Rivendell. Who did we get from Rivendell? Calaquendi Heavy Cavalry. 906. 8. I mean, they're pretty good. Problem with these is none of them replenish. We have returned, and that is where we're going to leave it for today. We'll just go through this event, and then I'm going to call it to a close. With the fall of the Balrog of Moria, the greatest threat in the Misty Mountains has been defeated. Yet many more remain. Orcs and goblins still squat in the halls of Durin and in the high mountain passes. Until they are removed, there will always be a threat from the mountains. So we have a new CB for use within the titles of Moria and the High Pass, enabling the purging of malevolent forces which remain within them. We shall avenge Durin and reclaim his halls. So with that brings us to an end of our first episode. Thank you so much for watching. This will be followed, I don't know when, but soon, with another episode. And I intend to post these as regularly as I can. This should be fun. In the interim, if you haven't done before, do check out the Expertise is Overrated podcast. We talk about all sorts of nerdy crap, basically, which is fantastic fun. And all that remains is for me to say thank you so much for watching. See you next time for some more absolute nonsense.